Hi, everybody. This is Judy Tuttle from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm so happy to be with you tonight. How's everybody doing? I am doing good. Had a kind of a quiet weekend. I had a surprise party for a friend Friday night, but then my husband and my son went on a little guys trip to Dallas, Texas to see the Dallas Cowboys play. And they won in the last 40 seconds of the game after trailing most of the game. So, if not all the game. I couldn't watch it here because it wasn't on TV for me. But they had a blast. So they left early Saturday morning. I drove to Dallas, spent the night with my brother, went to the game yesterday, drove halfway home, and then the rest of the way home this morning. So that gave me a lot of free time on Saturday and Sunday. I had lunch with a friend. I did a lot of organizing and planning and crafting down here in my craft basement cave and was able to get a lot of stuff done. I have a craft show for those of you who are in the Lincoln area. I have a craft show this weekend at the Lancaster County Convention Center. There's going to be over 100 vendors there. So it's a great time to come and see what things people have, what things I have, and buy some last minute gifts maybe for teachers, friends, neighbors, all of those things. So I hope you can come be a part of that with me. I'm going to get my computer going over here. As I'm getting this started, here we go. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. All right. I would love it when you come on if you would say hello, let me know where you're from, and let me know you're here. So last week, I forgot to tell you about something. I told you I was going to tell you about a new product that I found out about in Arlington that is not a Stampin' Up product. Hi, Chelsea. How are you? Glad to have you with me tonight. And that product is this right here. It's called a Craft Scrubby from Ranger. Ranger is the name of the company. And here's the cool thing about this. I've given 2 away already to friends. So what it does, and this one hasn't even been opened yet, so I'm going to keep this one, so I'll open it for you. The lady I sat next to, Pat from Midland, Texas. Hi, Roz. Thanks for joining me. She showed this to me. So it's this little, I just threw it. It's this little spongy thing. It's kind of like a loofah, but it's softer than that. And when you get it wet, it gets even softer. So what you do is you just put a few drops of like Dawn dishwashing liquid on it. And when your hands are super inky, here, let me get it off. So right now it feels kind of rough because it's dry, but you get it wet, you put a few drops, and it just gets that ink, you guys, right off your fingers. It is like magic. It is crazy. So if you have inky fingers quite a bit, this little Craft Scrubby by Ranger could save you. So I thought that was an amazing find. I'd never heard of it. Now, some of you out there may have already heard of this, and that's great. But I had never heard of it before. So it's called a Craft. Let's see if I can find that box again. It's called a Craft Scrubby. I think it ran $6, $7, something like that on Amazon. It took about a week to come in. So there you go. That is my little Amazon tip of the day. If Facebook will let me, I will post a link for that in the comments after this video is over. So here we go, my friends. We are winding down Christmas, right? And tonight I decided to, I hope you enjoy it. I'll put the link in the description when I'm done, okay? So I decided to take a little break from Christmas and move on to something in the annual catalog that I haven't had time to show you guys yet, and it will be my online class to go for this week. So what does that mean? That means if you place a $35 order in my online store between now and Friday using the host code provided, I will send you a kit to make 2 each of the 3 cards that I'm showing you tonight, okay? I die cut any shapes and edges, but luckily for you, this kit tonight doesn't need any other die, so I'm doing all the work for you. How fun is that? Now, something else you should know, you may not know yet. This Thursday, December the 15th, is going to be another free shipping day from Stampin' Up. Free shipping day on Thursday, December the 15th, okay? For any orders over $75. So what that means for you with me is that you can get the class kit for free, you can get an extra embellishment for free, and you can get free shipping on Thursday if you place an order of $75 or more. Now, you will not get that order before Christmas. It's highly unlikely, okay? But, you know, what better time to craft than between Christmas and New Year's? You're kind of on that down. You got a little more time on your hands. It's cold outside, right? I know none of my Christmas cards get out until after Christmas because that's kind of my downtime to be able to do this kinds of things. So this Thursday, go to my TuttleUpShop.com. Place an order of $75 or more. You can get tonight's class kit. If you use that host code, you can get a free embellishment package from me and free shipping. And a great time, Roz, right? Order that cardstock, order that adhesive, right? Order the envelopes, the things that you know you're going to need all the time. The basic white paper, the thick basic white paper, all of those things that we use a ton of, right? All right. So I'm going to turn my camera down and around, and you guys know this is always a little bit, although I feel like I'm getting a whole lot better at it lately, for sure. Okay, so let's see how that looks on my computer. Hi, Renee. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're recovered from your big wedding weekend, right? Okay, I feel like I need to move this just slightly that way. All right, so here's the host code for tonight's free class to go. Did I just nope, I made it better. I did. Okay, so the host code for tonight's class is NRZZTBXV. I have also put that up in the description. Now, I'll have to tell you, Facebook has been weird lately about letting me add to my descriptions after my video, but it won't let me put too much in the description before my video. So it's been kind of tricky lately. But that is the host code that you use. And if I can, hi, Mr. Lincoln. Hi from Mimi. Thanks for joining me tonight. Lincoln is my grandson that lives in Texas. So NRZZTBXV. That, if I can do a direct link in my description, I will put that in there. But sometimes Facebook is weird and sometimes won't let me do that. So if you place an order by this Friday, December 16th of $35 or more, you can get the card kit for tonight's cards for free. If you order $50 or more, then you get a free embellishment package from me. And on Thursday, $75 or more, you get free shipping. Okay, so all of that you should know. All right, so here's all of that information. I'm going to put that off to the side and show you. Okay, so tonight we're going to use kind of an interesting stamp set, and I hope you love it. We're going to use this one called the Olive Branch. It is in the mini catalog. It's one of those distinctive stamps that kind of built-in shading in the stamp itself to give you lots of dimension. I I looked up today. I thought I already knew about the olive branch, but I looked it up anyway about the history of the olive branch. And the olive branch is a symbol of peace and friendship, okay? Peace, friendship, and caring. Okay, so that's what the sentiments are about. Sorry if somebody's going through a hard time. This one says peace, love, and hope. This one says, thank you for reaching out. It meant so much to me. And this one says, may your heart begin to heal. Okay, so the olive branch is a symbol of peace, friendship, and caring. Okay, the item number for that is 159033. But you're going to see that tonight's cards, you can use the olive branch exactly what I did because they're gorgeous. But you can also use any stamp set you want because you're going to see that these are all pretty basic designs that would go great with any type of picture stamp set. Okay, so let's get started. Here's my first one. This one says, thank you for reaching out. It meant so much to me. I have that olive branch on the front. We'll talk about the details of this, but this is our first card that we're going to make tonight. I'm going to put that off to the side. I really think it's pretty. I do. Okay, so here we go. Let me grab all my stuffs. All right. Okay. So I have taken a piece of cardstock. I should have written this part down. That is about 3 3/4 by 5, 3 3/4 by 5. And then I used the scallop die. And so I would do this for you, right? And just cut an edge off with my die cutting machine. I just cut that very edge off right there. And it gives such a beautiful scalloped edge and also with a little bit of stitching on it right there. Okay, so we have that. I have some extra basic white panels that are 4 by 5 1/4. That's a pretty standard size, right? I have 2 DSPs. Now, let me tell you something else I forgot to tell you. The paper that we're using tonight is actually this paper from the annual catalog with the bears and the forest animals and the trees and the branches, right? And you're like, that's a really odd paper to be using. But you guys, the back sides of this are all very simple designs, right? Simple patterns that you're going to see are just going to add so much. Look at all of these. Are going to add so much to the design of this card. Use the back sides. You've got this Calypso Coral one. You've got this So Saffron. So lots of fun prints here. That's what we're going to be using tonight. Okay, so this paper is called Happy Forest Friends. And it's in the annual catalog. I decided to use annual catalog stuff too because, as you know, our holiday catalog is going away. And so much of things are either sold out or getting ready to sell out. And I just didn't want to worry about things selling out on you guys, okay? So I'm using annual catalog stuff tonight. So I have 2 pieces of DSP from that Happy Forest Friends DSP pack. This one is 1 inch by 5 inches. And this one is 1.5 by 5.5 inches, okay? So I'm going to start by adhering the 1 inch by 5 inch piece to the left side of my great granite cardstock, and it's standard size 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to adhere that right there. Then I'm going to take this piece that coordinates, and you guys, this card design is just, you're going to find that they're all duplicatable. You guys are going to be able to do this very easily at home and try these cards on your own using the cardstock and designer series paper you have. you can try that as well. So I'm just going to do this edge to edge right here. And it's going to be a tiny bit long, always happens. And so I'm just going to trim that off with my paper snips right there. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to use my large olive branch right here. And I'm going to ink it up in gray granite ink. And when I have a big stamp like this one, this is on the biggest block we sell. I can't remember what size it is. I think it is a G or an F, but it says it on the side here. This is an F block. And I'm going to take this entire stamp and I'm just going to stamp it right there. There we go. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, and then I would clean that off with my chamois because I'm going to stamp it again in So Saffron ink. Okay, so I'm going to clean off that gray granite there. Make sure with my chamois here, I've got it all good and clean. Another nice thing about the chamois is that it doesn't make your stamp very wet. So you can easily stamp it again pretty quickly. So now I'm getting out another piece. I'm going to move this stamp set over here. I love the paper too, Chelsea, and I really love those small little prints that sometimes go unnoticed, right? Because we're so busy with the really cute forest friend paper that's that cute bear and the owl and the fox and all of that. Okay, so I'm inking this up. I'm sorry, I'm off camera here. In So Saffron next. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing again. But what I really only care about is the olives. And I'm going to stamp the olives. These are going to be olives in So Saffron. Olives do come in a lot of colors. Okay. And so here, I would take my paper snips and I would just fussy cut each of those olives out of there. But lucky for you, I've already done all that work. I don't mind fussy cutting. And we are just going to take those fussy cut olives and just put them right over, this is called paper piecing, right over the olives that are there to give them some color. This is a stamp set that does not come with a die. It's a standalone stamp set is what we call it. So if we're going to cut anything out, we have to do it by hand. So I'm putting Seal Plus on the back side. You could easily use liquid glue here as well. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so someone asked me today when I get out of school for the holidays. We still have another week and a half. They are pushing us right up until the holiday this year. And so finals are next week for us, which was kind of a bummer, but it'll all be okay. All right, so there's my olive branch. And so now I have a strip of paper that is 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's longer than I need it to be. It looks like it's about 4 1/4 inches long. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment that says, "Thank you for reaching out. It meant so much to me." And I'm going to stamp that on this strip in basic gray as well. hope I've got that straight. I'm kind of looking at this. It's good. All right. And then you can cut this banner into by hand. I am still using my tailored tag punch. They might have to remove this from the grip of my hand when I die, because that is how much I love it. And it's retired, but it keeps me from having to do that by hand, right? Okay, so that's all there is to this card, really, you guys. I'm gonna pop this up right here on the front with my dimensionals. I'm gonna add some of that silver elegant trim that is in the annual catalog. And let's add a couple more there. Can't overdo dimensionals, can you? All right, and then I'm going to kind of go off camera here and take these wax paper tops off. So I've been working on gift card holders this week. I've been working on some little gifty items for my craft fair on Saturday. I'm excited about that. And then I need to start addressing my own Christmas cards, right? It's always more fun to make them than to actually send them, I think. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to take my silver elegant trim here, and I'm going to loop it. So I know Chelsea, who's watching with us tonight, she is so good. I've already gotten my Christmas card from Chelsea, so I know that she, for sure, is on top of things, unlike me. But it's because, really, you know, school lasts until the very few days before the holidays. Plus, I'm having a party. I'm having some of my school friends over here. Okay, I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. I just looped it, and then I'm just holding it in the middle there. And I'm going to take my label, and I'm going to just lay that on there. And then I'm going to get a piece of, and wouldn't you know it, don't know if I have my tearing tape here. It doesn't look like it. So I'm just going to have to take my Stamp and Seal Plus here. And you know what? Here we go. That will hold it until I can get my dimensionals on the back. Okay, so I'm going to just loop it. Here we go. I'm going to just lay that on the back side right there. That's just going to give me a little loop behind. And that still might be a little too big of a loop. Let's shorten it just a bit. There we go. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals here. Pop this onto the front of the card, and I just took the straight edge and lined it right up with that straight edge right there with my Calypso Coral paper. Looks like I still need to cut this down just a bit. There we go. And last but not least, I took my standard basic rhinestones. These are an essential to any craft room because they go with everything. Super easy to add bling to a project that you know you're not going to have to worry about things matching. Okay, there we go. Roz got a new puppy, so I understand that, Roz. We had my son and his wife here for Thanksgiving, and they have a dog. I guess the dog's name is George Michael, and he's so, you forget, right, how full of energy puppies are. So, okay, so that is card number 1. How do you feel about that? Many too, Jeannie. If I feel like if I can get my cards out by New Year's, it's a win for me, for sure. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up my stamps. Have you guys done anything with this stamp set yet? I have loved playing with it the last few days, for sure. So, okay, so there's my first card. I'm going to put that off to the side. Thank you, Roz. I love it too. I really do. All right. I'm going to get my stuff out of my way that I don't need anymore. And I'm going to pull out my second card. Let you look at it while I'm getting all the stuff set up right here. So here's my second card. And I used strips of that designer series paper. This time I stamped my olive branch in the Calypso Coral, and you know what? I really like it. And then there's a stamp in the set that just says Peace, Love, and Hope. Remember, I told you that's kind of what the olive branch stands for. And I am using this time some shimmery white cardstock instead. So let me get all my pieces out here. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of strips, 1/2-inch strips of that designer series paper, those small prints that are on the back side that sometimes we overlook. I've just got a whole slew of them here. I won't need that many for sure. And you want them to be in 1/2-inch strips and at least 6 inches long for what we're doing, okay? So, and I just realized I don't have, oh, I do have my paper trimmer right here. Okay, good. So out of shimmery white cardstock, I have cut 2 panels that are 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer in that, but I really love shimmery white cardstock. And then I cut this label right here, the third in, the middle size of the contour scallop dies. I love this set. This is the same die set that scallop border, which I just threw over here, probably should put that back on right there, came from, okay? So what we're going to do with these strips is that we are going to, and let me grab my, I'm going to grab my, oh, you guys, silicone mat. There we go. It was right on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't think of what to call it. Silicone mat, okay? So what I'm doing, and you know, I just grabbed colors and I started putting them down. I'm going to take these strips and I'm going to start adhering them at a slant across the front of my card. And you can see that there's a little bit of seal showing there, but it's not going to matter because we're going to over it up. It's not going to matter until we get to the very bottom, okay? So I'm not going to worry about it quite yet. And I'm just going to keep doing that, okay? I'm just going to keep lining up these strips at a diagonal across my paper. So this is a really good way to use up all those extra strips of your DSP. I'm just alternating colors here. And you can do it in a pattern if you want, or you can just, you know, I would say probably not put the same color together twice, but you don't have to really have a pattern to your strips that are going across there. Okay, let's see, what else do I have here? So I might go back to yellow. I am kind of a pattern person though, so I'm all about symmetry. I'm going to go back to the yellow now. There we go. Okay, and now back to the green. All right. There we go. Okay. I'm going to push that all down really good on top of my cardstock. The silicone mat's going to help me lift it up. And I'm going to cut the excess off the sides here. And then I'm going to cut the whole panel down just a little bit. I'll show you how I'm going to do that in just a second. So we're going to cut the excess off. Do you guys like to use your extra strips that you have lying around? I am sort of good at that. I would say not as good as I should be. I have been guilty of throwing away strips that probably should have been saved. Okay, so there we go. Got all that excess off the side. Then when I was doing this, I felt like this panel was a little big and I wanted a little bit more of my olive green showing around the edge. So what I did is I got my paper cutter here and I just went around all four sides and took a 1/2 inch off of every edge and just cut the whole thing down all the way around. Okay. Then I'm going to put this panel. Ooh, I might have cut that too much, but we're going to go with it. I think I'm going to like it anyway. Okay, so we're going to put dimensionals on the back here. So, do you have any Christmas parties coming up, you guys? I have, well, I have my club class on Wednesday night. And then on Friday night, we have a church event that's called Here We Go A Waffling. And we have a guy that's called the Waffle Man who serves waffles up in style. And he is, I think I should have just taken a 1/4 inch off all the way around instead of a 1/2. But we're going to go with it here. And then this is going to be my olive branch, okay? And I'm going to stamp that in Calypso Coral. So anyway, it's called Here We Come A Waffling. And the waffle man comes and you can order waffles and have all kinds of different kinds of syrups and toppings and all of that stuff. And then I'm inking this in Calypso Coral. And I'm just going to stamp it right here. Boop. Oh, it's so pretty. That distinctive, like shaded, shading look is just so fun. Okay, let me get this out of the way. And then I decided to take Old Olive and use that for my words, peace, love, and hope. So I'm inking that up in Old Olive, and I'm just stamping it right here in the bottom right corner. There we go. Very subtle. Okay. I'm going to pop that up here on my card front with dimensionals, and then I'm going to add an Old Olive ribbon kind of looped underneath here, kind of like I did last time. And this ribbon is part of a ribbon package that is called, it's also in the regular cat, Old Olive and Sahara Sand Twill Ribbon. It comes in a combo pack, Old Olive and Sahara Sand. And I'm just going to loop it kind of like I would be making a bow. But I'm just going to do the loop-de-loop thing here. And, hold on, let me try that again. Loop, and we're going to loop it like that because we want both of our tails to go down. So that's Friday night. And then my craft show is Saturday. And then Sunday night, me and my friend Becky Phelps, I'm gonna go ahead and add some Stampin' Seal Plus right there on top of my bow. And also in the corner of, so anyway, we're having a dinner party. We're actually invited friends, and we invited them by putting on Santa clothes and going house to house and caroling to them. It was so fun. I think they loved it. But our dinner party is, I'm going to move this down a little bit. I got it a little bit too high there. You know what? Maybe what I'll do, let's pull that off, is I will put on my label first and then tuck my ribbon underneath here. There we go. Cute. Do you guys like that? All right. And then I think I wish I hadn't cut quite so much. So this one I cut a 1/2 inch off. This one I think I only cut a 1/4 inch off all the way around. I think I like the bigger border in back, but they're both pretty. Anyway, we're having a dinner party. We're eating out for dinner, but then we're coming back to her house, and her husband is an amazing pianist, and he will be playing carols on his piano, and we'll sing carols together and eat treats. It's just going to be a fun time together. So I'm super excited about that. There we go. There is card number 2. What do you guys think of that one? Which one do you like best? The one with the bigger border or the one with the smaller border? I think I like the one with the bigger border. I'm kind of disappointed. I should have cut a 1/4 inch off all the way around. I think I like it a little bit better. But either way, it's pretty. And I'll make sure the directions on the PDF are correct, okay? So that is card number 2. Thanks, Roz. It is going to be a lovely evening. And it's all couples that we both love, and we had to keep it kind of small, but it's going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, last. We are going to be using for this card Pear Pizzazz, Blackberry Bliss, and Old Olive. Let me pull that one back out here. Okay. And then our last card is so pretty. I do love it. Okay, is going to be this card right here. Isn't that pretty? Isn't it cool how you can take that patterned paper with just, you know, a subtle design, and you can make a beautiful card like this using that olive branch stamp set. I really love that one. Okay, so here are all my pieces. I like the bigger border too, Renee. I agree with you on that. Okay, so here's DSP, cut 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and that is from that Happy Forest Friends DSP pack. And I'm going to adhere that to my card front. And this is just a thick basic white, cut 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, kind of a standard measure there. I'm going to add the DSP right here to the front of my card base. All right, and then I have another piece of basic white that is cut 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to layer it on a Blackberry Bliss that's cut 3 1/2 by 5. Okay, I'll leave those measurements right here. Before I adhere that though, I'm going to do some stamping. I am going to take my large olive branch, and I'm going to start by inking the whole thing up in Pear Pizzazz. So we're going to do this one a little differently than we did that first one. So I'm inking the whole thing up in Pear Pizzazz there, getting a good layer. And then I'm going to take my sponge dauber and I'm going to take my old olive ink and I'm going to make those olives just a little bit darker and greener. Okay, so all I'm doing is just inking up my dauber on my ink pad and just adding more depth and color to my olives. All right, put that off to the side. I'm going to take my ink pad here, get more in the camera for you, and I am going to just stamp that right here. Move that out of the way for us. Beautiful. And I got a little tiny bit of an edge there, but you know what? I think we're going to be able to maybe cover that up with our sentiment. Or I don't know. Do you think I should try it again? Or is it worth it? Let's see. We might be able to cover that up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take... How much does that bother you guys when I leave little things like that? It doesn't bother me as long as I can cover it up, right? Okay, so I'm going to stamp, "May your heart begin to heal." Lots of reasons you might want to send that to a friend. Could be a death, right? Or it really could be just going through a hard time, right? Okay, I'm going to cut this down a bit. I'm going to use my Taylor tag punch again and maybe just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and we're going to start putting this together. And I just realized that I need a piece of gold, so I'm going to come over here and cut that super quick. I've got it right here. All right, and what I did is I took this piece of gold, you can see it there, and I just laid it behind my banner, right like that. I'm going to adhere that together, and then I'm going to take my Taylor tag punch again and, you know, punch a border off there. So let me put this, some adhesive on the back here. So I'm a firm believer in that handmade things should look handmade. They don't have to be super perfect. I think people appreciate the desire to show that it's handmade. Okay, so I'm going to stick that back in there, punch it again, maybe a little bit shorter. There we go. And you see, you're not even going to see that little blip of an edge that I caught right there. That's what I was telling you about. If I did feel like it was going to show, I would have redone it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of that. Adhere it to the bottom edge right here of my card. And then I'm going to show you some embellishments. I've got these gold swirls that were part of the Fitting Florets bundle that are now sold out. But I'm showing them to you because I have a lot of them. So if you get this card class to go, I will be able to give you plenty of these. I really thought they were very pretty. There's a reason they sold out, right? There you go. What do you think of that? Isn't that pretty? Okay, now I'm going to layer this on my Blackberry Bliss right here. I'm using some seal. There we go. I'm gonna pop that up onto my card front right here. Isn't that just so simple and pretty? I really love that one. And okay, so then we have our dinner party Sunday night, and then I'm having some people from my office, those that I've invited that can come next week for a little office party at my house. We'll just eat and play some games. It'll be low stress, low key. So I'm excited about that as well. Here we go. So pretty, isn't it? I love the simplicity of that. And let me get these pieces kind of out of the way here. I would take another piece of this designer series paper. This is a 1/2-inch strip of the same paper that's on the front. And I would probably, you guys know me, I like to add a little strip to the inside of my card so that it all coordinates with the outside of the card. So I'm just going to add a strip to the bottom edge here. I would write a little encouraging note in the inside. And that is my third and final card for tonight. So I hope you guys love these. I hope I gave you some insight to this olive branch stamp set that is so pretty and so easily overlooked. I'm going to lay them all out here for you so that you can see all three. There you go. And here's my last one. I love it. Which one is your favorite? I don't know. I think I love the gray one with the yellow olives. But I'm pretty pleased with all three. So I hope that you love all three of them as well. And you'll think about placing an order to get this card kit for free. Okay, I'm going to move my camera back up and say my goodbyes. Boop, boop. There we go. So thank you guys again for joining me. I will be back next Monday night with another online class to go before Christmas. And it's going to focus on thank you cards for your Christmas gifts, which we should all be doing, right? And then I'll take about a week off of doing lives and all of that while I'm in Texas visiting my family, and be back with you right after the new year. So see me next Monday night right here at 7 o'clock. God bless everybody, and I'll see you next Monday night. Bye-bye.